Welcome to my very first podcast, and here at Real Talks with Neacsu. You may or may not know who I am, but I am a licensed realtor. I've been practicing real estate as a realtor for approximately 7 years now. And before that, I was a development manager for 5 years. So I have a good 12, 13 years of real estate experience under my belt. This is my passion, and I'm really curious about the industry and the market and where it's going in terms from a realtor's point of view. So what this podcast is all about, it's about interviewing other realtors. I want to see where their success comes from. I want to see what works for them. I want to talk about their failures. I want to talk about things in their career, milestones, sales, issues, you name it. This is all going to help us become better realtors and hopefully make some money. So about myself, my name is, again, Nick Neacsu. I'm a licensed realtor. I hold my license at Angel Hasman Associates in West Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I've targeted a very high-end luxury market. My business partner is DJ Denner, and together we have a group called the Neacsu Denner Real Estate Group. Neacsudenner.com is our website. I suggest you check it out. Just see what we're all about. Just kind of get an idea what I look like, who I am, and what our team's all about. We deal in luxury real estate. Our average transaction is over $3 million. And we sell houses up to that $15-20 million mark. And that's sort of what fuels us. But we also look at the industry a little bit differently, we believe, than sort of our predecessors. We're trying to innovate. We're trying to create systems, trying to approach the market and the industry a little bit different than the past generations. And I think that is a good part of our fortune and our success. And I want to see what's working for everybody else. Sometimes you get so in tune with your own self and your own business. You kind of focus on your own clients and what works for you and what doesn't. But perhaps it's good to expand your knowledge and find different opportunities amongst your professionals and colleagues, not only in your area, but around the world. So that's kind of the gist of what my podcast is all about. And I think it's going to be fun. But I think for my first, my first episode is going to be about, talking about who I am and my story and what has created success and failure along the journey of being the best realtor I can possibly be for my clients and for myself and for my team. So moving forward, I find that my motivation has come from a place of desperation. So I was a development manager right after university. I graduated university in 2006 with a marketing degree, actually a business science degree in marketing science focused from the Hawaii Pacific University. Moved back to Canada and had my first job in Victoria. It's a small island, it's a small city within Vancouver Island, which is just outside of Vancouver. And I joined forces with a company called 3 Point Properties, and they gave me my first opportunity to have a taste of real estate. I thought that, I wanted to be a development manager, I wanted to be a developer, and that's sort of what fueled me at the time. So I learned as much as I could about real estate and real estate development from a developer's point of view. By the time I was 26, I was working on a 29 lot subdivision on Salt Spring Island. By the time I was 28, I had built 3 houses I'm very proud of. By the time I was 30, I had a influential part of a 19-unit townhouse development in Victoria, a commercial renovation project, or an office building per se, and a couple other projects here and there, up island at Port Renfrew, Wild Coast Cottages, which is now the brand. So proud of that. But what I realized was, I was on a fixed income. I was making, my $70,000 a year, which is a pretty good income. But I was watching the realtors around me selling the product that I was creating, and really making a lot of money. But it wasn't about the money at the time. It was about learning, and I also realized that I loved selling what I was creating to the end user, to the general public. And I would go to the launch events, and I would go to the open houses, and I would be there as a salesperson sitting with the agent, talking proudly about what we've created. And we would sell them, and I would sell them, and I'm like, this is great satisfaction. And when you're in the developer point of view, you're married to a project for 4 years, you get a little bit of project fatigue by the end of the project life cycle. And to sell the product and to really see that end user and meet them and greet them and help them out with before and after sales service was fantastic. It just really created a feeling in me that was so fulfilling. And that's where the idea of becoming a realtor took place. I was on Vancouver Island. I'm from Vancouver, but I was away, on Vancouver Island. So sort of 6 years in, or 5 years in my job, 4.5 years away from Vancouver. So effectively almost 10 years away from Vancouver, my sphere of influence, everybody who I knew. And 6 years into my job in Victoria, I explored getting my license. I passed my tests, and I said, you know what? I really appreciate the knowledge. I really appreciate the experience, but it's time to take control of my life. And being an employee wasn't really the path I wanted to go, where I felt control of my destiny. So, like every young realtor, I actually moved back to Vancouver. Everything has changed in 10 years. I didn't know anybody, and I ended up in a brokerage called TAC Real Estate. TAC was the resale division of Mac Marketing, a really cool boutique firm in Yaletown in downtown Vancouver. And I'm just like, I'm going to go in and I'm going to crush it in the condo market. So I hang my license, I get my laptop, I set up for business, and I'm like, what the hell do I do? So I'm asking around for questions. I'm asking my managing broker, Peter. I'm asking for some help, and next thing you know, I'm doing some open houses. I don't know if you know the development. If you're in Vancouver, you probably do. Dolce Vita. There's a gentleman who received the last the leftovers of that development that hadn't pre-sold, and he was selling those units finished to market. And so I was doing open houses Saturday, Sunday, as much as I possibly could, trying to get business, build my book. And I'm meeting all these people. My lines are absolutely horrible. I don't know how to approach people. I'm coming from a project manager's point of view, not really a salesperson's point of view. And yeah, so 3 months of that, no deals, no real written offers, and I'm feeling a little bit bummed. So I'm sitting at the bullpen at TAC Real Estate, and I'm sitting beside this guy who just joined the company. He's from Pitt Meadows, and he's like, we get talking, get to know each other, and he's like, I want to go after West Vancouver houses. And for me, I'm just like, whoa, West Vancouver houses, like the richest people in Vancouver, or one of the richest people in neighborhoods in Vancouver, and that's where I'm from. and in big mansions, big estates, multi-million-dollar properties. I mean, the properties I was doing open houses for, I mean, we topped out at $1 million. So at that time, it was about $500,000 to $1 million for a condo in Dolce Vita. And the $1 million mark in my head, for whatever reason, really was this like benchmark. Like, oh, well, if I ever sell something over $1 million, I've made it. So so I meet this guy. His name is DJ. I can say, hi, DJ, how are you? He's like, Nick, very good. I go, do you know, he's like, do you want to go knock West Vancouver real estate with me? I'm just like, hey, I'm actually from West Vancouver. I know it, kinda. So we decided to jump into a car and into his car, and we start knocking West Vancouver. We're going up to the British properties. We're going up the hill. We're knocking like a bunch of bozos trying to get some business. And the more we start knocking, the more we find ourselves explaining what TAC real estate is. People are like, well, are you with Richard TAC? Just some background here. Richard TAC was a pretty prominent North Shore realtor, senior realtor at the time. And it's like, no, we're not with Richard TAC. We're with TAC Real Estate downtown, the resale division of MAC. And they're like, okay, never heard of them. So we spend about, we get a conversation going. We spend about 30 minutes talking about who we are rather than what we do. So about 3 weeks of this, we're pretty fed up. And DJ's like, every time, backtrack. Every time we go to West Vancouver, we drive by Angel Hasman Associates. We're like, wow, that's where Malcolm Hasman is. That's where Alan Angel is, Eric Christensen, Derek Grack, like all these big names, classy, high-end realtors are practicing their business. And the Malcolm Hasman was this like rock star, person in my mind that was unapproachable, that would never want anything to do with us. And so we sit back and we're talking about potentially joining Angel Hasman Associates, trying to get hanger licenses there, and I'm a little bit hesitant and just a little bit nervous, and we go about our day. A couple days later, I get a call from DJ. Nick, I walked in and got a job. Angel Hasman Associates. I'm like, no way. What? He's like, yeah, don't worry. I gave a good word about you too, so they want to meet you the following week. So I go in and meet with Cal Lindbergh, the managing broker, and the partners, Alan and Malcolm, and they take me on as well. So that's very, very exciting. I'm in Angel Hasman Associates. I've met with my idols. I'm in West Vancouver, and I'm scared shitless. But the leap of faith was taken, and I have to really give a lot of credit to DJ for that as well, for pushing me to go outside my comfort zone. So we join Angel Hasman Associates. We sort of, we door knock hard. We're door knocking so hard that where we're wearing through our shoes. DJ actually wore through his outsoles of his shoes right to his socks. I mean, the other aspect of this motivation, the work that hard, is that we were broke. DJ was broke. I was broke. And I'm going to let DJ tell his story in a different episode. It's very interesting. It's very motivating. But I'm going to tell you where my perspective was. I'm in Angel Hasman Associates, and I'd say about 3-4 months in, we're door knocking together. We get our first lead. We get our first listing. and I'm like, we're like finally a break. Bang! My girlfriend leaves me. I guess for whatever reason, the pressure, the journey, the hours, the being unsuccessful. I don't know. I don't really know yet to this date what the actual ultimate reason was. But she left me. So I'm broke. I'm living off a line of credit. I am moving out of our condo that we rented. I'm moving home. I'm 30 years old. Moving home. My mom has obviously turned my bedroom into something else, so I'm living on the couch. And I feel like, where am I at in my world? I am done. Having a pity party. Why is this happening to me? It actually is quite emotional thinking about that feeling, about what I went through at that time. It was down and out. But I had time now. I had more time. I didn't have a relationship. I didn't have a place to clean. I didn't have anything. All I had was me and support from my parents. So after about a week and a half, 2 weeks of being in sort of a slight depression, I pick up my socks. I go back to work. DJ's holding the fort, and we go at it. We get our first listing. We sell it. We were so focused on selling that $1.3 million house. It was everything. We had our sign out. We made our own sandwiches for our own wraps for the open house, and actually we couldn't afford it, the ingredients. So my mom and my grandma, bless them, went to Costco and bought everything and sort of helped us put together these platters. We worked so hard with our client to sell this house, and I remember us being receiving the offer, and actually we attracted our own offer, writing our own offer, and being at the Starbucks on Denman and Burrard, downtown Vancouver, sitting with our clients and going over the offer and calling our client when we had the numbers, and knowing that if we don't put this deal together, we're done. We're broke. We don't know where our next paycheck's coming from. So we were so desperate. We were so desperate. But we didn't put our desperation, our own interest above our client's interest. At the end of the day, we put the deal together, and we bought some time. At that point, I realized that money is time. Then we kept on door knocking, did it, got a little bit more business here and there. I think my first year I ended up making $25,000 of commissions, which is not good. DJ made a little bit more than me. He had a couple more deals that he was able to do on his own. And we started finding mentors. Okay, so we split up. He found a mentor. I found a mentor. I found an opportunity with the Chinese market. He did his thing. I'm going to let him talk about his own thing later. Like I said, a different episode. But I teamed up with a Chinese agent. We built some business that way. I was probably one of the first Caucasian realtors to really enter the Chinese culture in at least West Vancouver, for sure. Probably a larger region than that, and really built the networks and got to learn that culture. So my first deal in Angel Hasman was $1.3 million. My second deal was $5.6 million, and my third was $3.3 million, and those were both with Chinese buyers. Okay, I'm like, wow, I figured it out. I figured out a system that works. I figured out a niche that works. I'm going to be the Chinese, Canadian, Caucasian expert. Okay? So, so this is year 2 now. I'm building this whole new network with this agent that I'm working with, and we're growing, and then bang. Something personal happened to her in her life where she sort of stepped away from the business, and I'm just like, oh my God, not again. So I got my business going, then bang. So this is when about 2 years into the business now at Angel Housing Associates, DJ and I came back together. We're like, let's do this together. Timing was right on his end as well, and yeah. So then we started working together, and then so Debbie Heffel, who is Malcolm's assistant, approaches DJ and says, DJ, I have a client for you. It's a family member. I want you to go find her a townhouse. So DJ does a great job. They finds her a townhouse, and then Debbie's so thrilled that tells Malcolm Hasman about what we did. So without Debbie, I don't think we'd be here. We'd be at the success we are at right now, because of this moment in time. So listen carefully of what happened. Malcolm's attention was there. Malcolm told Debbie that he wanted to talk to us. We go into Malcolm's office, and he's like, guys, I have a lot of business, and some business I'm just too busy right now. But what I want to do is this. I want to refer you a buyer that is very difficult, and that will take a lot of work to close, but I want to give you the opportunity to help me out. So we're like, this is amazing. Malcolm Hasman's actually talking to us, and it's crazy. So he gives us this buyer. I won't name the names, obviously. We take this buyer and his wife out to look at properties. We close a $2.5 million deal in a week, or we secure a $2.5 million deal in a week. And we go back. We say, Malcolm, thank you so much. Here's your commission. Here's your deal sheet. Thank you so much for the opportunity. He's like, you got to be kidding me. You close those guys in a week? So he goes, I got another gun. I have an out-of-town buyer. He's moving his company up. He's a lawyer from Colorado. He's moving up his company potentially to Vancouver, and he wants to look at some property. He goes, Nick, DJ, I have so much going on. I just don't have the time to service these people like they deserve. I want to give you the opportunity on my behalf to help them find their home. They're looking for a home up to $2 million. So we reach out to these guys. They're landing in Vancouver, and they're staying at the Pacific Rim Hotel, the Fairmont Pacific Rim, very high-end hotel. So that sort of gives us the idea that they're real. We go pick them up, and they're dressed nice, but they're not dressed like you would expect to be looking at a multi-million-dollar real estate tour. So we take them onto this real estate tour in North Vancouver, looking for a house up to $2 million. At the time, you could get something that was fairly new for 2.2, 2.3 million. They tell us, guys, first tour is great, not what we're looking for. I want you to show us some more property that are a little bit bigger, a little bit more high end, and let's go to West Vancouver. And we ask them we tell them, we inform them, we educate them what you need to be at to get similar houses in West Vancouver, to buy similar houses in West Vancouver. Newer house, a little bit of ocean view and whatnot. You have to be in that $5 million range. He's like, okay, great, raise budget to $5 million. We're like, all right, this is great. We raise the budget to $5 million. We go tour them around. They don't like anything. He's like, we want something that's spectacular, big view, nice contemporary house, and we're like, okay, perfect, but you know what? You're gonna have to be in that sort of $7 to $10 million range. I go, what can you afford? If we up your budget? He goes, I remember him saying this to us, $20 million. We're like, what? We will like show us everything up to 20 million, including waterfronts. We're like, oh my goodness, you got to be kidding me. 2 million to 20 million, 10 times your original budget. So we do. We show them. We show the couple waterfront. And then, nothing was really speaking to them on the waterfront. We show them everything on market, and nothing's really speaking to them. We're like, oh my gosh, either these guys are fake or we're losing our best opportunity to elevate our career. So I remember a house that is off market that they were considering selling, and it was this beautiful Craig Chevalier, brand new 7,000 square foot estate. And Craig Chevalier built these modern James Bond-esque houses, and in fact, when it reported sold in the paper, they described it as a James Bond house. So we show this property to our clients, and it's exclusive through another agent within our office, and they write an offer. Full price, $7.5 million, closing in 1 month with a $1 million deposit, subject free. We're like, this is too good to be true. Wire transfers from the US. Great. So we write this deal up. We're like, okay, whatever. And we write it up, and we just, we hope that the money comes in through wire transfer. 1 day later, $1 million in our trust account. Sold. We just did a $7.5 million deal. And we're in cloud 9. Not only that, we go back to Malcolm with the deal sheet and say, here you go, Malcolm. You just made X amount. And say, here you go, Malcolm. He's like, what are you guys talking about? We just sold a $7.5 million house to the people from Colorado. This is what really started our relationship with Malcolm. We showed him as green agents. You can still say green. 2 years in the business. 2 years in the business, $7.5 million deal. And that basically put us on the radar. And took us out of debt. That is a milestone in my life, that deal. And I realized that in this world of real estate, you have to network. You have to find your own opportunities. You can't sit back and wait for business to come to you. You have to be proactive. I remember being able to finally afford my own condo rental downtown. How liberating is it to as a 31-year-old now, 31 years old, sleep on your mom's couch, to move out after proving to yourself and, to your family that you can do it. I knew that I could make it in this business after that deal. I knew that if somebody like Malcolm Hasman was impressed in me and with my business partner DJ, that I was made for this business. And I knew I wanted to continue riding that wave. So moving forward, DJ and I, from that point forward, have worked together. We've been involved in over 400 million in transactions. Our largest sale being $25 million, $25.5 million. Our average transaction is over $3 million. We have, in 2017, as a partnership, we broke 7 figures. We built a team and mentorship program, and we're creating systems so realtors in our team don't have to make the same mistakes we made, don't have to struggle as much as we struggled, and they find their path quicker. They still have to put in the hard work, the determination, the blood, sweat, and tears, but they don't have to make the dumb mistakes we made. And I'll get into those mistakes further on in further episodes in the podcast. But so 7 years in the business. I'm pretty established. I have goals. Both DJ and I have goals to grow and expand, and as Ryan Serhant at $1 Million Listing says, expand always in all ways. I really believe in that. And innovation and technology, innovation in the way that we conduct our business is critical, and we're doing it. So I'll speak more about the ways that I've done it, that DJ and I have both innovated and created success in further episodes. But I just want to give you a brief introduction of who I am and what I do, and and then introduce you to DJ in a later episode about where he comes from, his story, because absolutely amazing, his story. It's inspiring. You'll want to hear that. And then I'm going to be reaching out to my colleagues and talking about their story and figuring out what works for them in future episodes. So this is going to be a great way for young realtors that are stuck, older realtors who need to innovate and expand and grow, to take some takeaways from what we talk about in our episodes and grow their business. And I'm really passionate about sharing. I'm really passionate about mentorship. I'm really passionate about teaching. So hopefully this platform allows me to help some agents out there expand their success, and and I really look forward to doing more of these podcasts. So until next time, go out there and crush it. Don't stop. Push yourself to the limit. Go door knock. Hit those expireds. Do your open houses. Network with your peers. Network with your mortgage brokers, your bankers, your spheres of influence. Go out there, grab all that business you can, because it's out there to be taken. There's so much for everybody. And guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, have a good day.